to I, the podcast that delves into the conflicting dualities within us, and where we celebrate the art of being more than one thing. I'm your host, Terry Capps, and as someone who walks between the two worlds of filmmaking and music, I know firsthand the beauty and tension that exists living between two creative realms. In this podcast, we'll explore the dualities of guests who, like all of us, embody more than one side, navigating lives that don't always fit neatly into a single label. So let's dive in to explore the dualities within ourselves that shape our identities and make us who we are. Today's guest has a passion for writing and stand-up comedy.
So you write something, you don't know for sure, right? You might try it out on a friend or two, but until you get in front of an audience, you don't really know where the hits are, where the laughs are.
Please welcome my grade school friend, Arlene Matthews. Welcome to I. It's so nice to have you on the show, and we've waited so long to do this episode.
I know, I've known you for since first or second grade, right?
How many years is that?
A few dozen.
It's great to have you on the show. Tell us something that illustrates who Arlene Matthews is today.
Okay, well, it's funny because, Arlene is my given name. My mother named me Arlene because she thought that there was an actress that was the most beautiful actress in the world. Her name was Arlene Dahl. I don't know if you remember her.
I do remember her.
Red hair, green eyes, she was a tall Norwegian. Now, obviously, I was going to come out a short Sicilian. No way I was going to look like Arlene Dahl, but she had a wish. I really never liked the name because my mother would yell at me a lot, and she would yell in her Queen's accent, Arlene, and it was annoying. But my friends gave me a nickname, and it was Little Arlo, and it was named for Little Lulu, the cartoon character, Little Lulu.
Yes, Lulu.
She was a badass. She solved crimes. She got people out of jams. So when I started doing stand-up comedy, I kept the Arlo. But meanwhile, this is a crazy story, but when I was in my mid-20s and I was working for Random House, we held a book party, and it was a book that was published by Gloria Swanson. So all these old-timey movie stars were there. Arlene Dahl was there. And I thought, oh my God, I've got to go over. I've got to say something. And I'd say, Miss Dahl, I'm sorry to bother you, but I just have to tell you, my mother named me after you. She thought you were the most beautiful woman in the world. And of course, Arlene was very gracious, but she was with this like Euro trashy boyfriend who was like half her age. And he was like, he had like the pointy shoes and the scarf. And he was like, oh, now I am with the two beautiful Arlenes. And I was like, oh God, I'm going back to Arlo.
This is really true. In approximately 72 hours, I will be turning 70 years old. It's great to be at an age where you get an ovation just for breathing. Plus, Rich, look at me. I'm doing stand-up comedy. Only hard part is standing up.
You grew up Italian.
I'm still Italian, yes.
How did your family and heritage shape your sense of humor?
Oh my God. You know, Sicilians are very emotional and they have very strong opinions. For example, I talk about the fact that, well, we're all going to live a long time because we have our own healthcare plan. It's not the ACA and it's not an HMO. It's called the IGGA. It's going to go away. If you tell anybody in my family that you have an ache or a pain or a bump or a lump, they're like, Ma, what are you going to do? Go to the doctor? It's going to go away. It's going to go away. And 95% of the time, it actually does go away. I have known my husband for 50 years. And people say, how do you do it? Half a century of snores and farts? Well, I'm an Italian Catholic, and we have very strong beliefs. We do not believe in divorce. We believe in murder. Don't worry, I'm not really gonna murder my husband, but I am planning to outlive him. That's because I'm not just Italian, I'm Sicilian. Ooh, we live for spite. You insult me, I'm gonna live another year. So I've gotta live long enough to get you back. So many people relate to the crazy things about my Sicilian family, that they come up to me later and they say, my family's just like that, but they're not Sicilian. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's like kind of a whole Mediterranean culture kind of thing. So I've added a bit to my Sicilian stand-up routine where I explain to everybody that you too might be a little bit Sicilian.
Over the centuries, literally everybody and their brother invaded Sicily. The Vikings, the Visigoths, the Greeks, the Romans, the Saxons, the Normans, you name it, right? Turks, Greeks, they all came. And so it means there's a little bit of everybody in us. But also, there's a little bit of us in a whole lot of you. So I'm going to give you a little quiz tonight. 3 questions to see if you might be just a little bit Sicilian.
You want to take my 3-question quiz of maybe you're a little bit Sicilian?
Sure.
Is there a secret in your family that nobody was allowed to tell grandma?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
All right. I guess I'm Sicilian. Yeah. Do you secretly enjoy having imaginary arguments in your head with people you actually haven't spoken to in years?
No, not like my father that way.
All right, 1 out of 2. Here's one last one. In the back of your head, maybe have a short list of a couple of people that,
maybe you wouldn't mind so much if they got whacked.
No comment.
okay. All right. I think you're at least a little bit Sicilian.
If you say yes to all 3, meet me in the laundry after the show, I'm going to buy you a pizza.
Okay, PS201.
I think I became a writer, honestly, because of PS201. There was just so much focus on the reading and the writing and the power of stories. First of all, the teachers were so engaged with us. They were like your other mom. And unlike today, what the teacher said goes, right? They so encouraged creativity. We did a lot of painting and creative writing and poetry, and every year they put on a big musical. And that's how I found you again. You might remember I was doing a little research on PS201. I was thinking of writing something set there. And I found the Facebook page, I found your Promenade Dreams, and that's how, and I found that, and then I found you. I have other friends that I go back to like middle school, but I don't know anybody else that I went through PS201 with and remembers.
So which of the teachers do you, have really helped shape your life?
Mrs. Moskowitz I was a big reader, and she was very, very encouraging about that, and she would let me read far ahead in whatever it was we were reading. It was Mrs. Tashman, 3rd grade. She read a chapter of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? The first Narnia book.
Right,
and she read a chapter on a Friday. And she said, I'm going to read you a chapter every Friday. And I thought, there's no way I'll wait until next Friday to find out what happened. Because to me, I was an only child, and the thought of going through a closet in your house to a magical land, it was just amazing. So I made my mother, we ran to the library and I got it out. And by next Friday, I had finished the whole thing.
Was that the moment you realized stories have power?
Yeah, I would say by 3rd grade, it was all about books.
So your writing was encouraged back then. You tell us something about...
Definitely. So they used to hold up a picture, like cut out a magazine picture and hold it up, like from an advertisement or something, and you would have to write a story, like based on what was happening in the picture, and I remember loving that.
So when did writing become more than a hobby?
I sold a book while I was still working for Random House called Why Did I Marry You Anyway? And it was a book about the first year of marriage. And so once I got the contract, I quit my job and I kind of never looked back.
Let's talk a little bit about, when you started writing and you became a mother. How did you balance motherhood and creativity?
Oh boy, that was tough. When they're little, and you know this as a parent, you try to live your life around their naps. You put them down, you go write for 2 hours until you hear wah, 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 and you go get them.
Writing gives delayed gratification, but stand-up is just the opposite of it. What's it like getting immediate feedback from the audience?
It's a great learning experience. So you write something, you don't know for sure, right? You might try it out on a friend or two, but until you get in front of an audience, you don't really know where the hits are, where the laughs are, So the pacing and all of that, you have to learn from the audience. as you could probably tell, I'm a fast talker, New York, blah, 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 Italian. I'm a fast talker, so I like to say the next thing really fast. And it's a lot, takes a lot of discipline for me to say, they're laughing, shut up, shut up, shut up, they're still laughing, and then and so, but the instant gratification is great. I mean, even if you're writing a book that is humorous, so what? I mean, you still have to get it published. Somebody's got to pick it up. They've got to read it. And you're not there when they're reading it, so you don't really know unless they write a review or something, right? As I get older, I don't really want to wait to publish a book and get a review. I want to know now, is this funny or not? There's nothing more immediate than being in front of an audience. If they like it, it's involuntary. They're going to laugh.
We have to go to bed at 7:45. So we can get up at 3:30 and start butt dialing you.
Why do shared laughter and community go hand in hand?
The people who are laughing at the same time, they have a bond. You know, they just sort of share that, oh, this is the kind of thing that I can totally relate to. It's likely that later, if you have a beer with them, you're gonna just relate on a lot of level, you know.
Right.
It's a wonderful thing to laugh, it really is.
You get to a point where you can't stop laughing.
That has
you look
happened.
at your friend and you just keep laughing.
Have been some moments where, like, an improv teammate of mine will do something that's just so funny that I break and I lose it and I can't stop, and then it feeds on itself. You know, you just can't, you know, the more you laugh, the more you laugh.
My grandmother, who was on her deathbed, we used to rouse her by insulting her. We'd say, hey, Grandma, meatballs are chewy. Your lasagna's stringy. Oh, how about this? Your kitchen is dirty. Oh! She'll grab a hairbrush and chase you around. I'm gonna kill you. Summon a bitch, summon a bitch. That's really what she would say. Summon a bitch. Like she was calling up a demon.
How big a difference is Arlo on stage and Arlene Matthews off stage?
You know, people a lot of times will ask me, how much of what you said was true? I'll tell them a story about something that happened to me when I went to the airport, or something my family did, or something. And I always say, it's 80% true. And then you tweak it and you embellish it and you know, exaggerate it a little bit in the right parts, you know. But I feel like I'm pretty authentic, and I don't think it would work for me unless I was authentic. And I think the best comedians are authentic, you know.
So I decided, you know, it's not fair that the little kids get all the good night books. So I wrote a good night book for my generation, and it's called Good Night, Boomer Room.
I have this routine called Good Night, Boomer Room, and it's a spoof on the Margaret Wise Brown book Good Night Moon. And I wrote this book. First I just dummied it up on Snapfish so I would have a prop, but then so many people afterwards said, where can I get this book, that we actually published it on Amazon. So plug Good Night, Boomer Room. It's just a very funny little book for your boomer parents or what have you. The first line of that book is, good night, husband in CPAP machine.
Good night, husband in CPAP machine.
And every time I do that line, people go crazy because it just feels like everybody has a CPAP machine. What is that? Do you have a CPAP machine?
I do not have one.
I mean, and I really want to know, you know, 10,000 years of human history, people slept without a machine. All of a sudden, everybody needs a machine. I don't know what the hell's going on. The first time I read that book with that first line, I thought I was going to sort of get through the whole verse. I swear to God, I had to stop for 5 minutes because good night, husband with CPAP machine just set everybody, set everybody off.
Good night, moisturizer and retinol cream. Good night, old dog at my feet. Good night, dog farts in my sheets.
And then it goes on.
Good night, red light mask for my face. Good night, Xanax, just in case. Good night to you, 10 milligram gummies. You make Seinfeld reruns still seem funny. Good night, mattress with memory foam. Good night, unread bedside tome. Good night, cardigan on a chair. Good night, minoxidil for my hair. Good night, Tums. Good night, Altoids. Good night, salve for hemorrhoids. Metamucil and Dukalax. Good night, group. I hope come morning I might poop.
Jaspers. Good night, glass of bourbon with melting ice cube. Good night, vibrator and tube of lube. Good night, Gen Z. Good night, Gen X.
I sure hope someone's having sex.
Your son, you once said he cringed at your act.
I used to send him clips, and I would get a thumbs up back so fast I knew he couldn't have watched it. You know? I think he does cringe out at the fact that his old mother's doing stand-up comedy, and I think he might fear that I might talk about him, and I do talk about him. I think I would probably be a little bit nervous, and I probably would edit some of the things that I did because I don't want to make him cringy and everything. So it's probably just as well that we keep that secret.
What advice from another comic has stayed with you?
You got to get the audience on your side early. Start with a little something self-deprecating, then something that everybody can relate to. You really want them to feel like you're not talking at them, you're talking with them. You're just here to point out life's absurdities.
A few of you up there have seen that laughing at my jokes, and I consider that elder abuse. Now, I know we boomers are annoying, but we're not going anywhere soon, because we grew up with risk. Yes, we did. When I was a kid, 4 out of 5 doctors recommended Marlboros. The 6th one was too busy coughing up a lung. Also, there were no seatbelts in cars, there were smoking sections on airplanes, and for some reason, nobody was allergic to peanuts. And in fact, they served peanuts in the smoking section of the airplane. And we're still here.
What does writing teach you that stand-up cannot?
Writing can teach you to be patient. I don't stop writing until I know where I'm going next. That was an old Hemingway tip, by the way. Don't stop when you're out of ideas. Stop when you're in the middle of an idea, you know. Whereas stand-up, I mean, you're writing much shorter things. You're more inclined to just sort of spit the whole thing out and then go back and edit it later. Comedy just sort of sometimes, boom, it arrives.
Senior discounts. Yeah. We boomers, we get the discounts on everything. At the movies, at the trolley, on the adult diapers. and it's kind of not fair, though, that we'll get all the discounts, because I want to tell you a secret. It's not really a secret, but we boomers have all the money. Look how many Gen Zs or millennials make some noise. All right, oh, good. Listen, I want to apologize to you. We do have all the money, and you can't have it yet.
What does stand-up teach you that writing can't?
Well, it really teaches you to respect instant feedback, right? I mean, you may think that something's really funny. You try it 2 or 3 times and you don't get a laugh. It's not funny. It's a collaboration with the audience. They don't know that really they're collaborating with you, but they are.
Hi. Gosh, I'm so glad they put me on early because it's almost my bedtime.
Where do you hope both of your passions take you next?
My goal is to just keep expanding and exploring and, you know, be getting better at what I do. It's really more about enjoying myself and being in the moment. So there's no monetary goal. It's really just more making more people laugh.
Is there anything that you'd like to say? Any thoughts or any?
I'll plug my book again, Good Night Boomer Room. It's a loving parody of Good Night Moon for Boomers. And it's got very funny illustrations that my husband did, available on Amazon.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a long break between when we were, in grade school together.
Yes, it was. A good 60 years went by or something, yeah.
And maybe one day you'll be here in New York. I'll come down to see you.
That'd be awesome.
PS 201 forever.
Yes, 201 forever.
Thank you for spending time with us today. If you enjoyed our time together, please subscribe to my podcast. To see more of Arlo's stand-up comedy, please visit our YouTube channel.